Something deadly is lurking in the lake. Authorities across the United States are issuing advisories to the public after several bodies of water were found to have dangerous levels of toxic blue-green algae. Blue-green algae, or cyanobacteria, can be found in any body of water where warm temperatures and excessive phosphorus and nitrogen may cause it to reproduce explosively, creating blooms. Most blooms are harmless, but certain cyanobacteria species can produce toxins capable of damaging the nervous system and the liver. Those swimming or ingesting water with algal blooms have been known to experience skin irritation, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Children and small animals are especially at risk of being harmed by the bacteria. Their smaller body size means they can be affected by a smaller amount of toxins compared to a full-sized adult. As a result, the public has been cautioned to avoid any contact with contaminated waters. Well, at least there's always the pool. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. Here's what else to look out for this summer. Beware of the tick. Ticks are typically out from spring through summer and early fall, but 2017 is particularly bad, and here's why. The northeastern U.S. had a warmer winter, which means more ticks survived and made a whole bunch of baby bloodsuckers. There's also been an increase in the number of deer and other woodland creatures, which ticks typically rely on as food sources. Oh, and don't forget the exploding mice population across the northeastern United States. More rodents to act as hosts. Fun! So here are the problems you might encounter and some ways to combat them. People living in areas affected by Lyme disease should check their bodies daily for ticks. And if you do find one, don't panic. Using tweezers, carefully remove the tick by pulling its mouth out of the skin. Do not squeeze the tick's body, as this can cause the contents of its stomach to burst onto the skin. Also, don't use petroleum jelly or smoke to remove it. Check with the Centers for Disease Control if Lyme disease is a problem in your area. Save the tick for lab testing. Monitor your health, and if you develop symptoms of Lyme disease, consult a doctor. The Powassan Virus is a potentially life-threatening virus transmitted by ticks, including the deer tick. The virus can infect everyone, including children, teenagers, middle-aged people, and the elderly. Although most people will not develop symptoms, the virus kills about 15% of those who do. Meanwhile, some 50% of survivors will suffer long-term neurological damage. Others will experience symptoms similar to those of the flu, including fevers and headaches.
Rocky Mountain spotted fever is a tick-borne illness caused by a bacterium known as Rickettsia rickettsii. Doctors think that Oklahoma woman Jo Rogers may have been bitten by a carrier tick as she visited Grand Lake in the northeast of the state during a vacation in July. 4 days later, Rogers thought she had caught a severe flu and was taken to hospital, where she was tested for life-threatening diseases such as West Nile virus and meningitis. When all the tests came back negative, Rogers' doctors decided to amputate all 4 of her limbs to stop the infection from spreading to her vital organs. The symptoms of Rocky Mountain spotted fever include a fever, rash, nausea, and muscle pain. It can be treated with antibiotics within 5 days of an infection.
If you notice someone in your family or yourself displaying flu-like symptoms, do remember that it isn't flu season. It's probably a tick, so go see a doctor. Getting that glowing tan skin comes at a high price. With trips to the beach and the pool, fun in the sun is what summer is all about. That is until Helios unleashes his UV-filled wrath on those who neglect to wear sunscreen. Without sunscreen, the skin is at risk to a host of problems, ranging from a harsh sunburn to skin cancer. There are 2 types of UV rays that harm the skin, UVA and UVB. UVA rays cause skin to age. They penetrate deep into the dermis, where they damage collagen that makes skin elastic and smooth, resulting in wrinkles. UVA rays also indirectly damage DNA. They generate free radicals, such as reactive oxygen species, which in turn cause DNA mutations. UVB rays directly damage DNA and cause sunburn. Damaged skin cells trigger an inflammatory response, which is the source of the sunburn's redness. Cells beyond repair die off, causing the sunburn to peel. In cells that don't die, unrepaired DNA damage caused by UVA or UVB rays can accumulate and lead to skin cancer. Sunscreen protects the skin from UVA and UVB rays. It contains UV filters, which form a protective barrier over the skin by either absorbing or reflecting UV rays. To increase its ability to block UV rays, researchers are currently working on adding antioxidants to sunscreen. Experts warn about the spread of the Powassan virus. Health experts are warning about the potential increase in the spread of a disease called the Powassan virus this summer. Warmer winters have reportedly increased the population of ticks, which spread the disease. The Powassan virus is a potentially life-threatening virus transmitted by ticks, including the deer tick. The virus can infect everyone, including children, teenagers, middle-aged people, and the elderly. Although most people will not develop symptoms, the virus kills about 15% of those who do. Meanwhile, some 50% of survivors will suffer long-term neurological damage. Others will experience symptoms similar to those of the flu, including fevers and headaches. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, there are no vaccines to prevent transmission of the virus or medications to cure it. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
What you need to know about Vibrio, the flesh-eating bacteria. On June 23rd, 50-year-old Brian Parrott had to have his leg amputated after he contracted a flesh-eating bacterial infection similar to the one pictured here, known as vibriosis. The flesh-eating hook-shaped bacteria is called Vibrio, of which there are about a dozen species. The bacteria is known to survive in warm coastal areas of brackish or salt water. Even the slightest of open wounds exposed to contaminated water allows the bacteria to enter the body. Species of Vibrio are also known to invade the body through the consumption of bottom-dwelling, bacteria-collecting seafood and shellfish, like oysters. If the bacteria manages to enter the bloodstream, it can cause diarrhea, vomiting, skin lesions, and death. Those with weakened immune systems are more susceptible to infection. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention estimate 80,000 cases of vibriosis develop each year, with roughly 100 resulting in death. The bacteria most commonly spreads during the summer months from May to October, with roughly 65% of cases resulting from eating contaminated seafood. The Texas Department of State Health Services claims most people who come into contact with the bacteria through open waters do not develop infection. Swarm of flying cockroaches descends on New York City. The summer weather always brings a buzz around New York, but this year's scorching hot temperatures are attracting more than just fun-loving humans. With 90-degree humidity cloaking the city, American cockroaches are spreading their wings. When the heat turns up, the cockroaches move around a lot more to keep cool. Moisture leaves their bodies and frees up a second pair of wings that typically aren't activated. The cockroaches don't actually fly though. To put it more accurately, they glide, descending from above, one city block at a time. To the people on the ground below, it's hardly a welcome development. However it is that they're getting around, most New Yorkers still hate them all the same. Ah, the pitfalls of a city littered with refuse.